Alberta in turmoil. Danielle Smith's recall law unleashes political blowback she didn't expect. Alberta finds itself in a political maelstrom, largely due to Premier Danielle Smith's recent alterations to the recall legislation. Originally intended to empower citizens frustrated with perceived federal overreach, these changes may have unintentionally set the stage for significant upheaval within Smith's administration. The recall legislation, a tool meant for accountability, has morphed into a double-edged sword that could threaten her leadership and reshape Alberta's political landscape. Smith's decision to lower the threshold required to initiate recall petitions has catalyzed a surge of political activism that poses a direct challenge to her government. The Alberta Resistance movement is leading the charge, targeting several United Conservative Party (UCP) MLAs in districts where election outcomes were decided by razor-thin margins. For example, in Calgary-Bow, UCP MLA Dimitri Nicolaides won by only 385 votes, while in Calgary Northwest, Rajan Soni's victory was secured by a mere 149 votes. This strategic focus on vulnerable ridings underscores the potential for substantial shifts in the political dynamics of the province if these recall efforts gain traction. The irony of this situation is not lost on observers. Smith sought to enhance democratic engagement, yet the very mechanism she championed is now being turned against her administration. If 3 UCP MLAs are successfully recalled, it could endanger the government's majority and trigger a confidence vote in the legislature. Political scientist Keith Brownsey has highlighted the gravity of this situation, noting that the stakes for Smith and her administration are exceedingly high. With the recall law stipulating that a petition can be initiated if 40% of eligible voters in a riding sign within 60 days, it becomes a powerful weapon for opposition groups eager to challenge her leadership. While the recall movement is often portrayed as grassroots activism, concerns are emerging regarding the influence of external funding and interest groups. The leader of the recall effort, Jeremy, who previously ran for the Alberta Party, raises legitimate questions about the motivations driving this initiative. Is this a genuine expression of public dissatisfaction, or is it being orchestrated by larger political interests seeking to destabilize Smith's government? The involvement of organized groups complicates the narrative of grassroots activism, suggesting that there may be more at play than mere voter discontent. This casts a shadow over the authenticity of the movement, prompting speculation about the true nature of its support. The political climate in Alberta illustrates a broader struggle over the province's future direction. On one hand, advocates for separation from federal governance argue that Alberta should assert its autonomy more decisively, reflecting a growing sentiment among some Albertans that their needs and interests are being overlooked by Ottawa. On the other hand, critics of the UCP are seizing upon the recall efforts as a means to challenge Smith's leadership, viewing them as an opportunity to express their dissatisfaction with her administration's policies. This tension is further fueled by ongoing discussions about Alberta's autonomy and its relationship with the federal government, with figures like Mark Carney, the new leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister, emphasizing the importance of unity and collaboration across Canada. Carney's leadership arrives at a time when many Albertans feel increasingly disconnected from federal policies that do not align with their interests, intensifying calls for greater provincial autonomy. As the recall efforts gain momentum, the irony becomes more pronounced. The same individuals who previously dismissed the notion of separation are now celebrating the potential for recalls, revealing a double standard within the political discourse. Critics argue that this reflects a broader trend of utilizing democratic tools for partisan gain rather than true accountability. The situation underscores the complexities of Alberta's political landscape, where the lines between grassroots activism and political maneuvering are increasingly blurred. The Alberta Resistance movement's efforts to recall UCP MLAs transcend mere dissatisfaction with individual representatives. They embody a larger frustration with the provincial government's direction and its perceived alignment with federal policies that many feel do not serve Alberta's interests. Historically, Alberta has witnessed similar political struggles that resonate with the current situation. In 1937, Premier William Aberhart faced a recall threat that ultimately led to the legislation being rescinded before it could be implemented. This historical context serves as a reminder of the volatility of political power in Alberta and the risks inherent in empowering citizens through recall legislation. The stakes are indeed high, and the outcome of these recall efforts could reshape the political landscape in ways that echo for years to come. As Alberta stands at this critical juncture, the implications of Smith's recall law extend beyond her administration. The unfolding events serve as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between empowering citizens and the potential for political backlash. With tensions escalating and the future of Alberta's governance hanging in the balance, it is essential for all stakeholders to engage in constructive dialogue and carefully consider the long-term consequences of their actions. The outcome of the recall efforts could significantly alter Alberta's political landscape, influencing not only the UCP's future, but also the broader dynamics of Canadian politics. The prospect of early elections and shifts in power dynamics may lead to a re-evaluation of political strategies across the province, particularly as the UCP navigates the challenges posed by both internal dissent and external pressures. Moreover, the political climate is further complicated by the rise of social media and digital platforms, which have become instrumental in mobilizing public opinion. The Alberta Resistance movement is leveraging these tools to galvanize support for their recall efforts, reaching a wider audience than traditional methods would allow. This modern approach to political activism exemplifies how technology can amplify voices and organize grassroots campaigns, but it also raises questions about the authenticity and motivations behind such movements. In conclusion, Alberta is at a pivotal crossroads, with the recall legislation serving as both a tool for democratic engagement and a potential weapon for political maneuvering. As the Alberta Resistance movement gains momentum, the implications for Premier Smith and her government are profound. The irony of her situation is not lost on observers. In seeking to empower citizens, she may have inadvertently opened the door to her own political demise. The coming weeks and months will be critical in determining the future of Alberta's political landscape, and all eyes will be on the unfolding drama as it plays out.